We are. Everybody is different, but not like they think everybody is different. This is really important to talk about today. Every single person is different. Let's talk about why. Everyone's soul is different. If your soul experiences a hardship, betrayal, someone stabs you in the back, someone lets you down, somebody breaks your trust, something terrible happening in the world, right? Exactly. Tragedies, anything like that. If your soul experiences that, that's what makes you different than someone else, right? Because your soul is unique to begin with, and then the experiences that your soul goes through are different. Say it's a breakup. Say it's a relationship, right? Say you were cheated on. How many people were cheated on, right? How many people were betrayed? How many people had their trust break? Trust is a big one. That's a big one. So many people go through so much with trust and betrayal and hardship, and then we get sick. We get sick. And we don't come out of our sickness. We don't come out of those physical symptoms. So we got these neurological symptoms and we don't come out of it. It's like, wait a minute, I've been to my second doctor. I've been to my third doctor. Now I've been to my neurologist. Now I'm going to another doctor and then a pulmonologist. And then I'm going to another internist. And he's writing out more scripts to see other doctors and rheumatologists I'm going to now. And we lose trust. We lose trust in everything. We lose trust in our body. We lose trust in the people around us. We lose trust in what's happening in our world. We lose trust. We thought we were safe and then we're not safe. We get let down all the time. And then we get hit with anxiety and depression. And everybody's anxiety and depression is different. Anxiety, depression is connected to the soul, not just physically. And everybody's physical reason for anxiety, depression is different than another person too. It makes us all different. It does. But what isn't different is your heart beats and it has a function. And that's where we're the same. I'm the same as you. You're the same as me. That's when it's not really an individual thing where, no, your heart is different. Our hearts are meant to beat and pump blood. They're meant to pull blood up through the liver. They're meant to have blood travel through the body and pump through the body. Our hearts are spreading oxygen around through our blood. Our hearts are working the same. They're supposed to work the same. And then all of a sudden, someone's heart goes awry and someone's heart goes amiss and somebody's heart has a problem. But that's where we're different, because there's something that could be different with that person that made their heart not work right that's different than another person where their heart's doing something different. But what is the same is the heart function. We're supposed to function the same way. You know how else we're the same? We're the same because of swallowing. We're supposed to be able to chew our food and swallow, right? Well, that's what we're supposed to do. Our brain sends a message, okay? Our vagus nerves are getting messages, and then we're swallowing, right? But if something goes wrong inside the brain, that's when it gets different. That person can't swallow because something's wrong inside the brain. But yet, we're all the same with the functions. We're supposed to have two legs. And then someone loses a leg. That's what makes them different. But we're supposed to have these bodily functions. You're supposed to be able to go to the bathroom like everybody else. Okay? Our stomach is supposed to hold food. Every single person's stomach on the planet is supposed to hold food. That's what makes us the same. right? That's what makes us the same. Our stomach is supposed to hold food. We eat our food. We're supposed to chew our food. But when something goes wrong, and neurologically we can't chew anymore, or we have gastroparesis because of a problem, and that's what makes us different, right? But we're all supposed to function the same. Your pancreas does the same thing my pancreas does. Same thing, you guys. Your heart does the same thing my heart does. Your liver does the same thing my liver does. Our livers are doing the same thing unless something gets in your liver and impedes it. If something impedes your liver, that's what changes. That's what makes us different. Our physical functions are all supposed to be the same. Your liver's not supposed to do something different than my liver. No way. It's supposed to do the same thing. Your kidneys are supposed to do something entirely than my kidneys, something entirely different. So all of our kidneys are supposed to do something different than everybody else's kidneys. That's not how it works. Your kidneys are supposed to do the same thing someone else's kidneys are supposed to do, and every other person on the planet, and the billions of people that are on planet Earth, your kidneys are supposed to function the same. They have the same role and the same job. There's no individual. There's no bio-individual with that. But then your colon is supposed to work the same as my colon. Your colon's supposed to work the same as somebody else's colon. They're supposed to work the same. They are. Michelle L., you're right, except men and women are different. That's so true. Exactly. Peristaltic action is supposed to happen for everybody. So all the billions of people on planet Earth, peristaltic action is supposed to be the same. It's supposed to work the same. Okay? You eat your food, your vagus nerves send a message to your intestinal tract twists like this, and then your food starts moving along because your intestinal tract is twisting. It's supposed to do the same thing everybody else does. Everybody down the street, everybody down the block, everybody in another state, everybody in another country, everybody on the planet is supposed to have the same function. It's the vagus nerves receiving a message, boom, via neurons. Neurons send that message to your vagus nerves, boom. Vagus nerves go into your intestinal tract and all around your colon, and it makes it go, wah, wah, wah. Like the sound effects? That's what it's supposed to do for everyone. You're no different than that person. I'm no different than you. I'm no different than that other person. See? It's all the same. Right there, unless something goes wrong. Unless now you got a bacteria like Streptococcus that's inflaming or eating away at your intestinal lining. Or you got something that's eating away, like E. coli, that's eating away at your colon lining. And now you got diverticulosis, and now you got inflammation. Now you got problems. Or if a virus eats away at the lining of your colon, and now you've got colitis. So it's a shingles virus causing colitis. That's what starts making us different. That's what is making us different right there. Your colon is supposed to work. Exactly. Umakali. I see people saying that we're all different, but all of us have the same anatomy and physiology. What's different is what we've been exposed to, like toxins and bugs. Exactly. 100% right. That's exactly it. So what makes us different is those things. You know what else makes us the same? Blood. We all have blood in us. And when you take too much blood out, like what they did to the Lyme community for 40 years, I can't tell you how many people who died that didn't need to die from Lyme disease because they were bled to death at their doctor's offices. Let's take another 30 vials. Let's take another 20 vials. Let's take another 40 vials. I can't tell you how many people lost their lives from getting too much blood taken. Cancer. People who had a fighting chance to recover from cancer had the blood drained out of them so they had no more immune system to fight the cancer, and then they died earlier. Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, ALS, any kind of illness, really. I've seen people with chronic fatigue syndrome die because they were bled to death. Because we all have blood. And here's the difference about the survival of somebody with Lyme disease or someone with chronic fatigue syndrome, ME. The difference is how much blood did someone else get taken by their doctors versus somebody else that got blood taken. One other doctor took only 12 vials from their patient every time they came in, which is still bad enough. Another doctor took 30 vials. That patient eventually died. That made that situation different. But the blood, we all have. Our souls are unique, that's for sure. No soul is the same. No soul is the same, but physically our bodies are supposed to function the same. The organs function the same. Your brain is supposed to function the same. All these things are supposed to function the same. Your adrenals are supposed to do the same thing someone else's adrenals do, okay? You need adrenaline for every single function in your life. You need adrenaline when you go to the bathroom. You need adrenaline when you say hi to somebody. Do you know that your adrenals actually do a little squirt when you meet somebody? Do you know that? Hey, how are you? Hey, nice to meet you. Great to meet you. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, hey, great to meet you. Your adrenals go bam, bam. Just like that. Every single person who comes across somebody else and says hi to them or meets them, in that instant, their adrenals go and shoot out a little bit of adrenaline. Doesn't matter if you're nervous or not when you're meeting that person. That's what happens. Every single person that goes to their doctor's appointment, same thing. Their adrenals go from white coat syndrome. Right there. Right? Everybody, you go to the dentist office and they're about, you go in the dentist office and there's looking in your mouth and everything, your adrenals are starting to go up a little bit. You go take a shower, your adrenals are going. You go to the bathroom, it takes adrenaline to go to the bathroom. Everybody's adrenals do the same thing. They all do that. They all release adrenaline when we go through all these different experiences, right? That's how it works. Now, our souls have experiences that come from before this physical body, by the way, that we don't tap into, that we don't connect with. But our soul's got experiences from this lifetime too. It makes us different. The soul that we enter this earth with has experiences which make it unique. So our souls are so unique. They are. And what makes them really unique, it's interesting because you can tell somebody, hey, if you want to heal, this is what you need to do. But their soul might be like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go do something else. So that's their soul is just, that's the way their soul is built. Like souls also help us make decisions. They help us make bad decisions too in the world too. Souls do a lot. Our soul is different. Everybody's soul is unique. Why would you take a right when you could take a left? No, you should have gone left, up the mountain instead of right down the hill. Or you should have done this, you should have done that. Soul just plays a role in so many different decisions we make. We're so unique because of that. Our soul picks our hobbies, what we like to do, the kind of fun we like to have. Right? Some people don't like to sit on the beach and other people love the beach. Some people like to be on boats. Some people hate to be on boats. That's the soul right there. That's the soul. Some people like to watch a sunset. People like to only watch a sunrise. Some people like to watch both. Right? Some people like to drive cars. Some people like to be passengers in the cars. Some people like to go out to see a movie. Some people just want to watch movies at home. Some people like to have popcorn. Some people hate popcorn. Whatever it is, the soul does play a role in so many different aspects of our life. But our physical body becomes really different when you get pesticide sprayed on you from your neighbor, when you're breathing in scented candles that you don't realize are highly poisonous, when you're getting heavy metals from certain pharmaceuticals. And that's another thing that makes our physical body different. Pharmaceuticals. That can make our physical body different. Someone can be on a lot of antidepressants, a lot of anti-anxiety meds. Somebody can be on a lot of different medications and it builds up and it builds up. A lot of painkillers and it builds up and it builds up. Sleeping pills and it builds up, right? The whole bit. And it builds up inside their liver and it builds up inside their organs and their kidneys. And now they have a problem, but that's what makes them different than somebody else who wasn't on all those medications. It made them physically different. That's the whole point. What does somebody have? What kind of bag of tricks, bag of goods do they have inside their body? What's sitting inside their liver? What's sitting inside their kidneys? What's inside their brain? How many metals are inside their brain? That determines, too, on how somebody feels. Julia says, I will have to rewatch this video tomorrow. You guys, we're live right now. So, all this is important because your depression can be different than somebody else's depression. You see how it works? Your anxiety is different than somebody else's anxiety. Everybody has a different situation of what's happening inside of them, both toxicity levels and both pathogenic levels that are inside their body that determines which way things are gonna go. Definitely. Which way things are gonna go. And all that is important to keep in mind. So, one thing we have to always remember though, okay? It's your experience is different than someone else's experience emotionally. If you've been let down, if you've been betrayed, if you've had a hard time, if something happened in your life, man, only you know what that's like. Something terrible happened, something going on, so you're under pressure, whatever it is, something you were peer pressured into doing, maybe something that's gone wrong in your life, maybe some hardships, maybe some struggles, maybe some losses. You lost some serious things that mattered in your life, whatever that could be, a loved one, of course, which we don't ever want to lose, or a friend, or something that was important to your existence, your resources, whatever it is we lose, it plays a role in our soul and it shapes our soul and it changes our soul right there. And no one can touch that, man. That's so unique to part of your soul, your experiences of what you've been through, the letdowns you've had, the broken trust, any of that, the struggles, emotional struggles, all that's tied into the soul so deep. And nobody could touch that. Nobody can go near that because you know what? That's you. That's yours. That's your individual experiences right there. That's what those are. And they're powerful. They're valuable too. Really valuable. Life is short here on planet Earth. Boom! Short. That's right. You think 50 years, 60 years, 70, 80 years, 90 years? Think that's a long time? Gone. That's it. Real fast. Life is real short. It really is. I get it when you're 20 years old or you're 22 years old or you're 23 years old or something like that. You think, man, you think life is forever. You think you're going to live forever. You think life here is like, you'll be here for 1,000 years. When you're 19 years old or 25, you're 28 years old, you might think you're here for 1,000 years. Until you reach 30 and you start going, 30? What the heck is that? 30? Now I'm 30? And it starts to kind of almost shift a little for a lot of people, but not quite yet. Life goes by really, really quick. It's a blip of time. And our soul is still there. It doesn't die. We lose our physical bodies, and that's the same thing we all have in common. We're all the same. Every last one of us is all the same. We breathe, we live, and eventually we die. We leave. Every last one of us. You ever look back at the old antique photos? Go in a bookstore and you're looking through books and you see some old book and the book is all these people and they're all sitting there by a farm and they're all like this with some rakes and shovels and they're just wearing these strange clothes, right? And it's black and white photos and it's like 1919. They're all gone. They're all gone like that. We're all the same. We're all the same. All of us. Every last one of us on this earth, we're the same. Every last one of us. We're sisters, we're brothers, we're all the same big family, and we leave here and it goes quick. But what makes us different is our soul. And physical experiences that change the way your bodies function through this ride, right? Thing is about, if you ever worry about leaving this place down the road, always remember your soul lives on forever. Your soul lives on forever, and you're aware. You're aware. Your soul has all the information. It's an embodiment all on its own. And it never dies, ever. Anything you do good here, anything, the smallest little thing, the smallest deed, whatever it is, your soul gets to carry that with you. You tell somebody, hey, try the celery juice. And they start getting their life back. Boom, that's in your soul. You tell somebody anything, or you help them with anything. You help somebody cross the street. You help somebody go in front of you in a line. Whatever it is. You pick something off the ground in the grocery store that someone just dropped. See, these are the smallest things, the tiniest things. Save a moth. A moth flew into the house. And you grab it. And you cup it like this. And it's just a moth, for God's sakes. And you take that moth and you let that moth out. And you watch that moth fly away. And maybe that moth only has a year or a season in it. But you let it go and something happens inside your soul. And you take that with you. That's what powers our soul. That's what powers our soul. When it comes down to our physical problems, though, and our physical abilities and all of that, that changes really fast. You get some heavy metals in the brain, which I want to do a heavy metal detox cleanse challenge sometime. I don't know when, but I want to focus on it because metals are so critical. You get metals in the brain, copper, aluminum, mercury, it changes everything. And the next thing you know, you got the brain fog and the focus and concentration problems, depression, anxiety, meaning mysterious depression, anxiety. You might have anxiety because of what's happening in the world, the unjust evils that are happening in this world. And that's a different kind of anxiety, or the unjust evils that are causing depression right now. I've always said evils on this planet. There are evil, demonic people on this planet that have no respect for human life. I've always said that all these years. And when that interferes with any of our lives on any scale whatsoever, it can create some depression and anxiety because it hits the emotional centers of the brain and then we get injured. And I talked about that in Cleanse to Heal a little bit, about that emotional injury in our brain and how it works. We get a little scar tissue on the brain, and that makes you different right there. If you're somebody that experienced a hardship and that emotional center of the brain got whacked and hit hard, then that right there determines, hey, you got that injury, that's specific to you, and now you have a depression that's different than somebody else's depression. No one's depression is exactly the same. Metals can be in a different part of the brain than somebody else, and an emotional experience can be in a different part of the emotional centers of the brain than somebody else. And everybody has a different situation going on. What I noticed about some people out there that want to destroy the futures of people who need their health back, what I notice is some people will browse through medical medium information, and they'll pick and choose some things out of medical medium. They won't understand the message from medical medium information. They don't understand that I'm a messenger. I'm nobody. Nobody. That's what I am. People say, oh, a medical medium. I'm nothing. I'm a messenger. I'll be here today, gone tomorrow, down the road. But what will be here will be the information that I messaged out from above. That information will be here. It'll be there to speak in a light in hopes to save more lives. Because I'm just a messenger in the moment in this time in history, so I can deliver this information from above. I'm nothing special. For some reason, I was given the ability to hear and survive that torture of hearing a voice and bringing information that's different than any other information out there in health. And I think it angers a lot of people because a lot of people see that medical meme information is the only information that's different. And all the other information in alternative health is the same. It parrots the same. It's like all the same stuff. Then medical medium information is different. Because it's different and it's healed so many people, it's a threat. It's a great threat to the industry. Then the industry likes to come up with all kinds of different tactics. People need to understand that as a messenger, it's not about the Anthony Williams show. If it was going to be the Anthony Williams show, then I would have just made it the Anthony Williams show and did selfies 24/7 and made it all about me. And hey, look, guys, I'm down at the beach right now and got my selfies out and the whole bit and been about, look, it's the Anthony Williams show. And by the way, here's health too, because I'm into health. I'm a health hobbyist, I'm into health too, and it's the Anthony Williams show. If it was going to be about the Anthony Williams show, I would have done a bunch of different TV show series like I've been asked to do. And I'm like, well, you know what? Yeah, I want to get the information out there, but I don't want to make it about the Anthony Williams show because I'm a messenger. I'm not supposed to be a star of any kind. I'm not supposed to be anyone. I'm supposed to be nothing, but yet a voice for the chronically ill, a voice for spirit of compassion, so I can deliver the message out to people so they don't end up in a situation like so many people are. So I was looking, right? And I saw, I'm on my phone right now, okay, you guys? So I'm on my phone, right? So I'm just going to a review, right? So here's a review. It just came out a couple of days ago, okay? The title of the review is Everything in This Book Works. When for over a decade, nothing else would. So this person says when over a decade, nothing else could. Right? This is an Amazon review. So the review is this. Thank God for the information in this book. It has literally saved my life. I had been to 21 doctors. 21 doctors. I get it. When you're 20 years old and you just have a bellyache once in a while, a little bit of bloating, which is still not good, maybe a tiny bit of acne, maybe a little bit of fatigue, and you run around to your functional medicine doctors, and the functional medicine doctor says, oh, your gut dysbiosis is happening, and you need a little of this and try a little of that. You think you got it all down. And then you go and you put a post out thinking that you have everything down, right? But when you're somebody that's been to 21 doctors and you're really sick and you're really ill, that's what medical medium information's been for all these years. So thank God for the information in this book. It has literally saved my life. I have been to 21 doctors prior to finding the books written by Anthony Williams. It was his celery juice that first piqued my curiosity. So I went to medicalmedium.com to research when literally in the first two paragraphs on his homepage at the time, all the answers I had been looking for fell into place and made perfect sense. I found that no wonder doctors couldn't heal arthritis because there is no such thing as autoimmune. My health problems were there because of a virus, not because my immune system was attacking me and attacking me, right? And the review goes on and on. But as somebody who's been to 21 doctors, and the thing about medical medium information, I was always a messenger to just make sure that, hey, if you're in that position, you got a shot now. You know, here it is. So it wasn't supposed to be the Anthony Williams show. It was supposed to be, I'm a messenger. I'm nobody. I just have to make sure people have an opportunity, get that information, bring it down, be able to voice it, and be able to back up the chronically ill, and make sure that I'm a voice for the chronically ill too. The other day, someone brought up bio-individual, okay? Medical medium, they said, does all these things wrong. And they said medical medium does all these things wrong because their medical medium information is different than any other information in the health field. Yeah, it's different. It's geared to save lives. It's there for when you see 21 doctors and 25 doctors. 21 doctors, that's a small amount of doctors. Medical medium information has been here for people who've seen 50 doctors, actually 100 doctors. One person said they went to 400 doctors in 20 years before medical medium information not only gave them a fighting chance, but reversed their problems. Uma says, I've seen people use Info to heal and then turn against and go sell zeolite or alkaline water machines. Absolutely, Uma. In fact, the sabotage on the medical medium community are people very angry because medical medium healed them and then they wanted to sell their alkaline ionizer water machine. Medical medium doesn't support ionizer water machines because that will make you neurologically sick. The plates inside the machines, they start to decompose. You don't see it decomposing, but they do. They oxidize, and you get sick and twisted in the brain from alkaline ionizer water. My job is to protect the chronically ill, but what that did was create a bunch of enemies so that the enemies that sell the machines start getting people to post. And then you see a bunch of people that don't know any of this that go, whoa, I'm not going to go near medical medium, then I won't look at his book. I'll go somewhere else. That's a mark on your soul, man. When you do evil things like that and you turn people a direction that they could have gotten help and you turn them away from that, that's some evil intentions. That stays in the soul. You do evil crap. That stays in your soul for eternity. So what happens is it brings on a whole bunch of hit jobs and hit posts and stuff like that, right? So let's just read one that came out pretty recently. This post is titled, What Does the Medical Medium Get Wrong? We'd love to hear what medical medium gets wrong. This is interesting, right? Okay, let's just read one of these things. The body needs acidity. Too much alkalinity can cause more infections, low HCl, and poor mitochondrial health. Well, that doesn't really sum up too much right there. So medical medium gets what wrong? Kind of confused with just that one all on its own. So this person is saying the body needs acidity. Here's the problem. Everybody's so darn acidic, they're losing their bodies. This person is an amateur, I guess, and they just don't know this. We're so acidic, we get osteopenia, osteoporosis, spinal stenosis. We're so acidic that our brain bathes in acid and atrophies as the years go on. We're so acidic that we burn out our HCl, our own hydrochloric acid and stomach glands. We're so acidic that we ruin the other acidity, which is HCl. So this person says the body needs acidity. Oh, it does? Actually, we're desperate to get out of acidosis. For somebody to say this and say, what does the medical medium get wrong? So they're trying to correct me with this one. They're saying the body needs acidity, medical medium. Too much alkalinity. Do you know how hard it is to get alkaline? You have to be eating leafy greens every single day. You got to be doing your celery juice. You got to be cautious you got to keep dairy out of your diet, right? You got to watch out for chemical poisons and toxins. It's not easy to get alkaline. But this person's acting like alkalinity is like easy to get to and that we need to be acidic instead. If you take this person's advice, it's a nightmare. How's anybody going to heal? Let's move on to another one. Okay? Well, this is a fun one right here. Veganism has a time and place, just like all other therapeutic diets. So what this person is saying is that I must be straight vegan and only vegan, and that's all I ever support is vegan. Let's just clear this up for a little bit right now. Do you know why the vegans don't like medical medium out there, the staunch veganism world? Because I support animal protein eaters. Did you know that the plant-based movement and the vegan movement despises Anthony William, the medical medium, because I will not solely only support vegans? I'm hated by the vegans. Yes, I know many of you guys are vegan, but the vegan movement, you guys know, the vegan movement hates medical medium because I don't sit there and talk about all the vegan talking points and the vegan propaganda, and I'm not just 100%. The medical medium platform or community or the medical medium information supports all walks of life that eat all kinds of different ways. There are animal protein people here. There are plant-based people here. There's macrobiotic people here. There's vegetarians here. There's people that eat dirt. There's people that eat animals. There's people that eat just blueberries. There's people from all walks of life here. But this person puts out in their post to make sure they twist the minds of others that veganism has a time and place just like all other therapeutic diets. So Anthony William must have it wrong then, because he must be just a one-size-fits-all, just vegan, because that's what they're claiming. So let's move on to another one if you guys got a second. This is kind of fun. Ready for this one? Vinegar is not inherently bad. Oh, it's not? Okay. If a person has a problem with vinegar, they may have low HCl, oxalate issues, etc. Really? To whose science? What science can prove that or even say that? Someone's just throwing theories that are in the alternative medicine world, and they're just throwing it into the bag here. So what does the medical medium get wrong? Apparently the medical medium has it wrong. Vinegar is actually good for you. So let's cut into the vinegar a little bit. Yeah, you're welcome to have vinegar. And I always said, if you're going to have vinegar, apple cider vinegar is the best one there is. I've written it in my books that it's the best one there is. But if you're chronically ill, and the needle's not moving, you better get rid of the vinegar, because I want you to have a fighting chance to heal. You can be welcome to be here in the medical medium community. You have all the apple cider vinegar you want, and I'm going to love you, and I'm not going to judge you, and I'm going to be on your side, and I'm going to say, good job. At least you're doing the apple cider vinegar. But listen, if you got those aches and pains, fatigue and tingles and numbness, and you got the brain pains, and you got the brain fog, and your back hurts, let's get rid of the vinegar. If your teeth are starting to crumble and fall apart, let's get rid of the vinegar. If your bones are starting to thin out and you're getting osteopenia, let's get rid of the vinegar, because the vinegar will literally destroy your health. But by no means do I ever punish anybody if they want to be in the community and have vinegar. Tara Appleman. Hey, Tara. I love when people use the phrase one size fits all to describe medical medium information. Info is the only thing I've found that is not one size fits all. Tara, it's true. It's true. So this person clearly who wrote this and posted about this hasn't watched Instagram Lives or Facebook Lives or Rumble Lives, hasn't read the medical medium books, but they did a hit job and they haven't listened to the podcasts. So they did a hit job. And since I bring in the soul into this stuff, you know that just sits in your soul. You do a hit job on purpose when you didn't do your homework or know about the other person, so you intentionally did something evil, and then you got your crowd of whatever followers behind it, and they all think it's real. That intention is dark. What would actually possess a person, a 20-year-old or whoever that does this, what would possess them to do dark malice intentions like that, to derail people of healing when they don't even know the information or they ever even read the books? And that stays in the soul forever. They may not think that because you think you're indestructible when you're 20 years old and you think you got it all down because your functional medicine doctor taught you a few things about gut biome, which is really theory, gut microbiome. And we can talk about that all day on how that works, because if you're really ill, those gut powders don't do anything. You have to learn how to heal. Molly Ann Marsh says, I'm glad you are addressing this. I have to dispel the misinformation to help people avoid the traps, because these are traps set by people. Let's go and do a couple more if you guys got a minute. I really appreciate it. Okay? You guys are going to laugh at this one. If you know medical medium information, you're going to laugh at this one. Catherine says, and that crowd healed with your info too. And now they're bashing it. Catherine, I know, because people that were actually commenting in that crowd healed from using medical medium tools. And they're sitting there bashing it. We have bad things happening in the world right now. We have evil, immense evil, destroying people's lives right now out there. Okay? Immense evil, an evil, immense evil machine is trying to destroy people's worlds and lives right now out there. If you're up on everything that's happening, right? But on smaller levels, this is people who post this garbage are trying to destroy people's worlds too. When you think about that, are trying to destroy people's worlds. Okay? So, it's unbelievable. Brianna says, I seen this gal's post. Post like this really does mess with my head, like makes me think I will never heal and doing things wrong. Brianna, I'm so sorry. I know. And that's the post we're probably talking about for sure right now. So let's go into a little bit more. But before I go into these pieces, I just want to say there's an evil machine trying to literally destroy humankind right now. We know about that. But this is on small levels that destroy lives too. When you put stuff like this out there, when you don't even know what's in the books or the podcasts or understand why someone's even sick, and you put attacks like this out here, and you alter people's perceptions and send them down a direction so they can't heal, people are going to be poisoned when they see this. They'll never think, oh, well, maybe I should look at a medical meme book that's a #1 New York Times bestseller that's healed people around the world. Maybe I should never look at that guy. Maybe that guy is ugly. Maybe that guy does look weird. You guys, first of all, I'm not young. I'm an older guy. Second of all, I don't have fake teeth. I don't have implants in my teeth and face. I don't have filler. I don't have cosmetic Botox or whatever it is. I don't do anything like that. You know, all the guys in the health movement right now that are a half of my age are getting all that stuff. And all the guys that are my age in the health movement right now, they don't have any teeth. It's all implants. So, yeah, and I'm a runner. I'm a I ride a bicycle, right? But I don't do, big weights because I'm not trying to build mass. If I wanted to, I could just spend 2 hours, 3 hours a day and do that, but I have to work. I have a job. All right, so let's go into this a little bit. Plus, you won't get good bike rides when you do that, and you won't get good runs. You won't be able to run the miles you want to run when you're too bulked up. I know guys that are so bulked up, friends of mine, they're so bulked up, they can run a half mile. They can't run 10 miles real quick in the morning and then get back to work. They can only run a half mile, and then they're dragging. All right, look, that's off a beaten path. So let's talk about another one right here. You ready? Here's the one that's interesting, you guys. Check this one out. From this post, from this person. He does not state that binders should be used when ingesting the heavy metal detox smoothie. So you're going to tell me how my heavy metal detox smoothie should work? Is that what you're going to do? Is that what this person's going to do? This person's going to give me direction on how my heavy metal detox smoothie that saved lives is going to work? So, let me just listen to you then. What am I doing wrong with my heavy metal detox smoothie that's been saving lives for decades? Okay, let's talk about, you want me to put binders in there? Okay, what are binders? Charcoal, clay, chlorella, fulvic acid? You want me to put humic acid? You want me to put these binders in? Those are theories. They don't grab toxic heavy metals. There's not one study that shows charcoal grabbing or binding onto a toxic heavy metal. There's not one study that shows that you need a binder. There's not one study of any of that. Because first of all, the heavy metal world of toxic heavy metals causing problems originates from 35 years of my work of teaching people. And the heavy metal detox smoothie that's saving lives has spirulina in there, barley grass juice powder in there, cilantro in there, wild blueberries, pectin from wild blueberries. Pectin's a binder. Pectin's a binder. It's got 2 cups of wild blueberries in the heavy metal detox smoothie. The point is someone sitting here who doesn't even know how metals work or anything, and they're telling me I don't address binders. April Taff. I got put on binders by my health coach, really didn't help me. And can I tell you, April, binders, I've seen it hospitalize people. I've seen people use binders like charcoal and clay and end up in the hospital with Crohn's and colitis, severely suffering, and they had literally lost 2-3 months of their life. They were in the hospital because the clay got into their intestinal tract and colon and stuck into the walls, and they were in agony and needed to be put on morphine. I don't use charcoal and clays for a reason. It can destroy people's lives. I don't like them. I told people why many times. Chlorella is also highly toxic and carries bacteria 90% of the time. And I've seen kids that were on chlorella from their practitioners literally in hospital beds on morphine because the chlorella had bacteria and almost killed them. It's in my books, this stuff. So I have a person here that's so experienced, I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but so experienced, apparently, that says he does not state that binders should be used when ingesting the heavy metal detox smoothie or on his detox cleanses. Jamie says, your heavy metal detox smoothie helped me get rid of my panic disorder. Yeah, and if there were binders such as charcoal in there, your panic disorder would have got worse because the charcoal is so agitating to the central nervous system and to the vagus nerves. But this person would never know this. But this person's post garnered a lot of attention, and there's so many people turned off the medical medium information that could save their lives. And I'm not thinking about my livelihood because I tell everybody, get it at the library for free. I don't care if I can't turn the lights on anymore. Get it in the library for free. But here's what's funny. The person that put this post out, and the other people too, they start investing in other stuff. You start becoming part of that whole MLM pyramid stuff and whatever, ambassador stuff, and they got their own plans of why they're doing what they're doing. Evil intentions keeps a mark on your soul. You do something terrible for a reason. It stays in the soul, whether you know it or not, and it lives there. And we have to contend with it someday. Let's go a little bit more. Oh, here's a good one now. Let's go into this real quick. All right. Right? He states that blood draws are bloodletting vampirism. He states that blood draws are bloodletting and vampirism. This is dangerously false, as blood work can give us essential information. When did Dr. Fahn, good to see you. Dr. Fahn, did I ever said to people never to get blood work? Did I ever, Dr. Fahn, MD, did I ever, in all the decades of doing this and anywhere else and in my books, did I ever tell somebody never to get a blood test? Did I ever say that it's not helpful in any way? What I've said is the same thing I've always said. You get too much blood drawn when you're pregnant, you damage the baby. When you get too much blood drawn when you have neurological Lyme, it can send you backwards for months. You get too much blood drawn when you're chronically ill, and you can remove a part of your immune system and not bounce back. I said there's a way to do it. You have to learn how to do it. You can ask your doctor for blood work and learn how to protect yourself. Medical medium information is about protecting yourself. You can listen to the podcast, the Blood Draw podcast, so you know how to protect yourself. Too much, Amigo 500 says too much damages the immune system. Tara Appleman says no, complete misunderstanding, twisting your words. Exactly. So important to know. Dr. Fahn, he said to avoid taking too much. But this person has scared a lot of people with this one. Because all of a sudden I look like a guy that never wants you to go to your doctor and get blood work. That's insane. Definitely get your blood work. But I always recommend doing what I recommend friends to do. Is you ask for half vials or quarter vials. And you be cautious to how much is being drawn when you're really chronically ill, because I don't want you to have to go backwards and backwards and backwards. And then you think your celery juice made you sick. Michelle L., details matter. So I'm going to read a couple more if you guys don't mind, right? Here's one right here. This is a good one. Eggs are not the unhealthy. Everyone is bio-individual. So eggs are not the unhealthy. Everyone is bio-individual. Creating food fear is dangerous. Okay. You know why everybody who has been there and done that out there loves medical medium information? Because it allowed them to eat fruit for the first time in their sick, chronically ill lives. Medical medium information opens the floodgate to all the herbs. It opens the floodgate to all the leafy greens. It opens the floodgate to every vegetable. It opens the floodgate to all the fruit. It opens the floodgate if you want to still eat animal protein, okay? It opens the floodgate if you want to do even some grains and oats. Medical medium information is not about food fear or fruit fear. It's about making sure that if you're chronically ill, that you stand a chance, you can actually heal and recover. And if you know what to avoid when you're really sick, yeah, I got friends that eat eggs. I don't say anything because they're not sick. You're sick. You got a problem. You're going to get in trouble. So I want to talk about something, you guys. I want to actually drop something on you guys that's important right now. A few of the haters that were in the medical medium community that got their lives back, that posted about how they got their lives back for years, healed, used all the medical medium information, drank their 32 ounces of celery juice, did their heavy metal detox smoothies, avoided eggs and everything. They got their lives back, and then they left the community and they got mad at me. I don't know why, but they got mad at me and left the community and then started up their alkaline ionizer water machines. Oh, that's why. I forget. They started their other stuff they wanted to do. And then as time went on, they started doing things like eggs and things like that again. And then they got sick again. Because they healed because they avoided eggs because they had a pathogen. And then they started tanking the eggs, like eating a lot of eggs. And then they started to digress in their healing because they were making themselves sick again. And they started developing symptoms. A lot of people go through that process, but they never correct anything. They never say, okay, I'm going to do a post and say, you guys, I had the best 4 years of my life. I could run 5 miles now. I could run and jog 10 miles. I can do all these things. I'm happy. My kids are happy. I'm better. No one has to worry about mommy dying anymore or being sick. I got my life back. And then I diversed. I attacked the guy. I ate all these bad foods and I got sick again. But here, I'm going to tell you guys what happened. He was right. And here, all I have to do is clean things up a little bit and get my life back. No one corrects anything. No one fixes anything. I don't know if it's pride or it's ego. Samantha says they will twist and mold all what you said to suit their own agenda. Absolutely. So here's another one right here. There is no scientific evidence for cluster salts in celery juice. However, celery juice can help some people. Science hasn't studied celery juice yet. This person doesn't know this yet, but science has not studied celery juice yet. I have been waiting forever. And when they do study it, they will find the things in there and then they'll talk about it, just like Harvard and other places studied Epstein-Barr recently and found out that medical medium was right, that Epstein-Barr is the cause of multiple sclerosis. And now 7 years later, after I published it, they're doing papers on there now, right? Well, the same thing's going to happen with celery juice. Give it time. And when you're 20 years old or 22 years old or whatever you are, 7 years from now and 10 years from now, you'll see that celery juice has special things in it. And guess what? You'll never fix this. You'll never say, you guys, I did a post 7 years ago on my IG. And I did that post and I ripped this guy apart and I made people not drink celery juice anymore. I made them doubt celery juice, but I'm not going to fix it, you guys. I'm not going to go back and fix it and tell everybody I was wrong. Medical medium was right. And that this whole time, science finally did discover it. Because I had people say bad things about medical meeting when I said multiple sclerosis was caused by Epstein-Barr. And people ripped me apart, you guys, including people in the science community. They ripped medical medium apart years ago because I stood up and said Epstein-Barr causes MS. But guess what? Now that they discovered it is true, no one's coming back and correcting it. No one's putting articles out and saying, oh my God, we ripped apart AW 7 years ago and we wrote these bad articles about him and we said all these terrible things. But look, he was right. He actually does hear. He is a prophet. He does hear from Spirit of Compassion, and we're not going to correct it. We're not going to say he was right. That's how evil works. It's part of how evil works. And it's in your soul. And people who do this, they keep that in their soul, that they had intentions that are that dark. What does that say? That says when you leave this place, no matter what happens, you take that with you. And your soul just floats around out of here as you leave, and it harbors all that ill intent and all that corrosive intent and all of it, and malice and just everything. And it holds on to it. And that's what you have to have in the end. This meaning, like, that's what these people have. Here's one right here. Gut infections and pathogens can still feed on fruits, veggies, starches, etc., despite what he claims. No one knew a pathogen fed. It's medical medium information. She's actually taking medical medium information and throwing it back at me. I'm confused. Wait a minute. Science and research didn't know that pathogens ate anything. It doesn't exist. I've been talking about it for 35 years that pathogens eat food, but everybody laughed at it. Science doesn't believe that a virus eats. But here, this person throws medical medium information published in medical medium books and talked about in lectures for years, throws it back at me and says gut infections and pathogens can still feed on fruits, veggies, and starches. That's funny because pathogens don't feed on anything, says all the science in the world, including alternative science. This person took info that's unique and put it in here as if it was known and threw it back at me as if I don't do it. This is actually like Twilight Zone. Let's take a look at another one. A strict vegan diet can cause blood sugar imbalances and gut dysbiosis for certain people. Who said... And by the way, it's damaging false information this person's putting out there. Defamation and damaging false information, by the way. Thank God I'm not like somebody else, some of these other people. Did you know if you say one little bad word, did you guys know this? You say one little bad word about Dr. and Dr. and Dr. in a podcast and Dr. You guys know the doctors. I don't have to say their name. You say one bad word. You're just somebody on a post that you just don't all of a sudden like Dr. And you all of a sudden don't like Dr. And you say one little thing on your post. Do you know how fried you would be? Your whole account would probably come down. But did you know that I don't do that? I let people speak their stuff and say their stuff and put it out there and defame me and put all this wrong information. And I let them do that because I believe in like freedom. I let them do that. But all the podcast doctors would come down on this person tomorrow. And they'd be in some serious trouble. You'd see some PR marketing people. You'd see some publicists. You'd see some people coming down on these people. And oh my God, would they get served a whole bunch of stuff. So this person's taking advantage of medical medium kindness. Sick. Here's something. A strict vegan diet can cause blood sugar imbalances and gut dysbiosis for certain people. Strict vegan diet... I sit here until I'm blue on the face and tell people you can heal if you're eating animal protein. You can heal when you're plant-based. You can heal if you're vegan. But you gotta look out for that nutritional yeast, whatever you are. You gotta look out for that vinegar, and you gotta look out for that caffeine, because that could be the bridge that stops you from healing, the bridge that breaks and stops you from healing. I told you, the vegan people have hated me for years. Yes, there's vegans in the medical meme community, just like there's animal protein people in the medical meme community. But the vegan people have hated me for years. The vegan people, because they don't think I support veganism, and they hate me for it. This person's acting like I'm one of the vegan, like, parades out there. Dysbiosis, no one knows what's supposed to be in the gut, by the way. Like, no one has an exact, there's no exact science to dysbiosis. So here's somebody that's just throwing out whatever. Okay. Here's one right here. He states that there should not be fruit fear, yet creates fear around other food groups. Where's my coffee? Where's my espresso? Where's my bars of chocolate? Because I want to caffeine my baby. So my baby has an addiction now to caffeine and goes through shakes and withdrawal inside my womb and I don't even know it. I educate people on how to protect, so you can protect your second baby and your third baby and your fourth baby, so they don't become heroin addicts when they're 15 years old and 18 years old. And they don't become junkies when they're 21 years old and ruin your life. I educate people so I can protect moms and babies and children. I educate people about food groups like caffeine and other food groups. And so, anyway, it goes on and on and on. And there's plenty to be had, too. So, but I'm going to talk about this again, I think. I'm going to go to IG. I'll go to IG. I'm going to put TikTok back on, too. Right? Ignoring them is best. Terror Time and Andy says, I understand that. Like, honestly, ignoring them is best, right? True. But when you watch a lot of people that get hurt, and they'll never actually find their way when they get really sick, like chronically ill, because they'll always be poisoned. There'll be something inside of them that says, no, I don't know where I heard it, but I heard he's bad. And it's sad. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter for the chronically ill. Not a fighter for myself. If I was a fighter for myself, I would do other things, I guess. I'm a fighter for the chronically ill. And that's what I do. And that's what gets me. Helene says, you don't create fear. That's nonsense. You educate with the truth on what is real, food, and what is nutrition. Thank you for being here, Helene. You guys, we're going to go. I'm glad we covered a lot of different topics. We talked about the soul a little bit. We talked about this fun stuff. We talked about all of it. I'm going to go on IG. We'll talk about this stuff there. Who knows what's going to happen. All right, you guys.